Hello, and welcome to the weather update. It is January 3rd, 2024, the Long Island weather update, and we are going to talk about what we have coming. Obviously, this you see is a storm that's going to be going by to the south. We had sunshine earlier on, and then toward the afternoon, more clouds. Now we're kind of overcast tonight. Not a whole lot on the radar from this thing. Any precipitation from this storm will be off to the south, as you see, well to the south there, and it's very light. It's a very weak system that's passing us by right now. So let's take a look at what our day was like at Islip. And you'll see Islip, we had a high of 44, 4 degrees above normal. The low of 25 was 1 degree below normal. And so we averaged 2 degrees above normal for the day at Islip. Central Park, 4 degrees above normal. So, back to being above normal again, but that won't last. We're going to have a cool down coming on tomorrow night, actually. Looking right now, you can see some of the advisories in effect for this storm. Now, this is the storm right here, I believe, that's right now affecting this part of the country right here. If we look at the satellite here, we'll go to the CONUS. That is the storm that will become, here it is right here. This will become Saturday night into Sunday's event right now. But right now you can see we have nice clear air before that storm, so we'll have a very nice day on Friday before we start seeing the clouds and we deal with the storm. So let's take a look at our current conditions out there, and you already see some watches and warnings out there. What do we got? Small craft advisory and a gale watch for the waters off New England. So it's 37 at West Hampton. Not seeing any radiation or cooling tonight. 37 at Islip. So let's take a look at our highs and lows for the day. Starting off with the lows. West Hampton got down to 16. Somehow managed to get into the teens in West Hampton. Everybody else was in the 20s, mid-20s. However, in the city, they had to deal with mid-30s and upper 20s. Actually, mid to upper 20s in much of New Jersey for lows. Our highs. We got into the mid-40s today, so generally mid-40s pretty much everywhere. Looking at the weather map right now, you can see we have there's this week's southern stream system that's going to be going by to the south. This is our cold front that comes through tomorrow afternoon, and this is our storm system for Sunday. And this is the high pressure that's going to be building down on later tomorrow night and Friday. It's going to bring us some nice cold air, but it's going to move through rather quickly, and that's the issue that we have with the storm. The high is not really going to put the storm in the right position. At least that's the last time I looked, but we're going to look again, and take a look at all this. But first, let's see if there's a briefing from the Weather Service on this storm here. There is a briefing. So we'll go over the briefing here. Increasing confidence and low pressure tracking toward the mid-Atlantic region on Saturday and southeast of the region Saturday evening into Sunday. Accumulating snow is likely across the interior with a low probability for New York City and the coast, so we still may not break the snow drought. A period of strong winds with gusts up to 50 miles an hour is possible along coastal sections. And the challenges, of course, is with the marginally cold air mass in place. The exact storm track and intensity will be crucial to precipitation types. You can see here's the map, and this is where they have mainly most of the accumulating snow. You can see we're not in it, so unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to see any accumulating snow from this or much of any accumulating snow. We're going to take a look, though, at the models here and see what the latest is. First, let's start with the short-range models, and then we'll talk about Sunday. So we'll first start with the HRRR, and this isn't really going to show much of anything. We're dry. You'll notice that there might be the slightest chance with that cold front of a pop-up sprinkle tomorrow afternoon. The smallest chance of a pop-up sprinkle or flake. And then Friday's dry, and as far as it's going to go out, obviously, this is a short-range model for Friday. But we'll show you the changes that are taking place. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow here. Tomorrow we have that light westerly flow. You'll see here's the colder air here that's coming. But one thing you'll notice is that the colder air seems to be going more and more. It's at least the HRRR is doing this, shifting the core of the colder air well to the north, and that's going to be a problem for trying to get snow in here on Sunday. And you'll see for Friday, we see that drop, the dew points drop into the teens, but it's not the same as cold of an air mass as, at least the HRRR doesn't seem to think it's going to be as cold of an air mass as what we were originally expecting on Friday, and that makes it less likely that we're going to see snow from this system later Saturday night and Sunday. So tonight, probably not going to, maybe we'll get close to freezing. Tomorrow we start off in the low to mid 40s, and then cold front comes through later in the afternoon, and then it gets colder in the evening. We drop into the 20s, and maybe even down to like 20. It's going to be pretty chilly by Friday morning. And then for Friday, it's still showing a pretty cold day, though. Highs only in the mid 30s. You see the core of the cold air is up here, and that's the issue. That high, that core, as we go and we look at the GFS, and we'll point that out to you a little later on. So now that we kind of went over the short range a little bit, let's go and talk about the longer ranges. All right, so let's go to the GFS here, and we'll look at the dew points and wind flow on the GFS. So here's the GFS. And you see GFS a little stronger with the cold air, but still, you can see the core of it seems to kind of go off to the east, and that's going to be the problem. So here we are. It's in for Friday, but as we go into Saturday, boom, lifts out already. Look at that. Look at how quick it lifts out. So that's the problem we have. All right, and then as we go into Sunday, you'll see our dew points are above freezing Sunday. And if the dew point's above freezing, it's very hard to get snow. You have very warm oceans, so it's going to make it very hard to get snow in the coastal areas. I think it's going to be mainly an inland event. I don't think we're going to see any. I'm leaning toward probably no accumulation for Long Island, unfortunately, and New York City as well. Not going to make a forecast yet, but that's what I'm thinking right now. Now, as the storm departs, we get into a northwest wind, but nothing really frigid for Monday. All right, we're looking again at our dew points and wind flow. Let's look at air temperatures now. So going in here, and you'll see here's a Friday. Again, Friday, going to be a cold day, but then here we go. Saturday, we're already moderating a little bit, and then Sunday, you can see there's a lot of warm air with this storm. So, and we're above freezing for a lot of our area, and that's going to be a problem with getting any snow to stick. And then colder air again on Monday after the storm departs. All right. So let's go and look at the storm itself, and we'll continue on this northeastern version of it. All right, so you can get an idea of what happened. So we'll keep it on the northeast view. So here's the storm itself on the GFS. All right, see it approaches, and probably after 7 or 8 o'clock, we start seeing rain moving into New Jersey, and then definitely by 10 or 11, it starts moving into Long Island. But you'll see mainly rain. You have to be just north of the city to really get into the snow. And this is the problem with a track like this. It's just not gonna. And there might be a little bit of snow on the back end, but it wound up being very light. Maybe you could get a dusting on the back end, but I'm not really impressed with what I'm seeing here. All right, you see the storm kind of deepens a little too late to really give us. The storm isn't as strong as it originally was either, Prague to be. So that's also another issue. And then it moves out on Monday. All right, so this is again. This storm here is not impressive looking on this GFS at all. We'll go ahead and look at the European model next. And here's the European model, which doesn't show us precip type, but you can see that 540 line well north of the city. Pretty much in agreement on the with the European here. Let's go to the icon next. And change this back to this. Don't really have the full zeros in, 0Z, and so we have to look at the 18Z. And you'll see here. Yeah, they pretty much all agree on this track, actually. So we have an agreement in the models, and it's not a favorable track for much snow accumulation in our area. I don't think we see much of anything, to be honest with you. But what does suck is that, you may have some lingering moisture hanging around on Sunday, which may keep it kind of gloomy. And hopefully we don't get any of that annoying drizzle, because that would really annoy me. Anyway, now that you see that model, we'll go to the N&W, which is the first short-range model we have. But it still don't. This will take us out the N&W. Even the NAM, look at that. Yep. Same thing. Rain Saturday night to Sunday, and then you can see that's as much as we got right now with that low sitting south. There's just too much warm air, not enough cold air to really, that high just moves right on out. All right. If we go and we look a little further on here to the CONUS view. You see what the issue is here looking at the NAM. So here's your high. That high kind of builds in and then right out, moves right out, retreats right away. And that's the problem. And that's because you have a low over here that's kind of pushing it away. And that's why I really don't have a whole lot of confidence with this storm, unfortunately. It's as far as snowfall in our area, I just don't think we're going to see it. I really don't. We can look at the NAM snowfall totals here, and I mean, it's not going to show anything. Total snowfall, it's all to the north and the west. But one thing we will have is plenty of rain. Yeah, just what we don't need. If we go to total accumulated precip, this is as far out as the NAM goes. However, we can look at the GFS, and you'll see that the GFS gives us, 1 to possibly 1.5 inches of rain, and who knows, maybe we're going to overperform again on the rain again. So this is another thing that we're going to have to watch out for here. Yeah, 1 to 1.5 inches. Just more, just what we don't need. Icon, the icon. Oh, gotta put it over here. Well, let's see what the icon gives us. So there's the icon right there, and again, someone thinking that 1 to 1.5 inches of rain, or liquid equivalent. I think most of it will be in the form of more rain. So I still think we're going to be waiting for the first snow. This snow drought is very likely going to continue, unfortunately, I think. To looking at all these models right now, just this is what the thinking is right now. Hopefully something will change, but right now it certainly doesn't look like it will. Briefly, let's go over the skies for tomorrow. I think we're going to have a decent amount of clouds around, but there's some disagreement on the models with that. We'll talk about that. Friday should be mostly sunny. There may be a little bit of cirrus around, maybe over Jersey. Just take a sounding over here. That's probably high. Yeah, it's mid to high cloud level in the morning, and then it seems to get better toward the afternoon, and then it kind of rolls in on us Friday night. And then obviously we're going to have no sun at all for the weekend. And then the next time we'd see the sun would be Monday. All right. I can show you the RGM here with clouds, and this is where we have the disagreement. So if I look at the RGM for tomorrow, you'll see it actually shows clouds in the morning and then a period of sunshine in the early afternoon, and then some more clouds toward the late afternoon, perhaps. So I'll have to see how that is. But Friday for sure should be a pretty nice day, I think, with a good amount of sunshine. Right now, that's what I'm thinking. So we'll know more tomorrow, I think, on Friday. And I'm not really going to focus too much on that because that's not the only storm we got to watch. Yeah, we got more storms to watch. So let's go back out to the Conus view, and I'll put this back on the GFS because there is another storm out there that we're going to have to watch for. And this is the one that really worries me here. This one for later Tuesday into Wednesday. Look at how deep that thing is. Look at all those isobars. So this is going to be another massive tropical storm type of deal, I think, that we're going to have. Though inland, you'll see where there's some cold air. They may get some snow before the cold air is scoured out by that LLJ, all right? But, yeah, Tuesday night into Wednesday, it looks like we could have a pretty significant LLJ around here. And this LLJ here could give us a lot of rain. Again, so we're going to go back and we're going to look at it in close detail here, and you can see all that heavy rain that would move over us again. Are we going to go for the wettest January on record? Maybe, because if we look at the GFS and look at total accumulated precip between now and then, it could have another 2 to 3 inches of rain for us for that. So, yeah, and we all know how they underestimated the last one, right? So this is something that we'll have to, obviously be concerned about. Looking at the European model, which doesn't go out. I think the 12Z would go far enough out. European, oh gosh, it has another soaker too. So if we look at the European here, let's put this back over to here, the MSLP. You'll see it's got another one for later Friday into Saturday. Another Great Lakes cutter low again. Same thing, LLJ. It just continues. We're supposed to be getting a pattern change. But you could see, and it is changing. There's more cold air entering the picture, but it seems to be the trough seems to be wanting sent up in the west. So if we can look at things on the Conus view and look at our upper air, you'll see that the troughing wants to be in the west, generally speaking. Yep. So this is the prime, and look at how deep that one is. This is the 12Z Euro. So so it's all going to the west, basically. So we're missing out on all of this. And with that would come some really nice temperature anomalies too. You see there up in the Pacific Northwest there. This only goes out to the 13th, but still, you can see it continues the above normal conditions that we have in the east. Now, if we look at the GFS, Yep, they pretty much match, actually. You can see it's all going to the west. Eventually, maybe it'll get toward us, but a lot of it's going right into the west and down into Texas, which is crazy. You may have areas in Mexico that are going to be colder than us, which is crazy. If you look at some of these temperatures here, I mean, we'll have to see how this all works out. It's a ways away, but it's certainly not great for people who want to see some winter weather in the east, for sure. You can see again, there's that. Look at that trough in the west. I mean, really, really though, it looks like a little better toward the end of the period. I do see a little hope, but we've all seen that before, and then it disappears. So we'll have to see. There's going to be a pattern change, but it may not bring the bitter cold and snow that we really desperately need in the east, because there's just not enough cold air to go around for everybody. But we're going to have to see how this all pans out. It's still way too early, and things can change between that, and we've got a lot. So I want to focus a little more on that LLJ storm and the wind that we could see from that. So let's go to the wind here and look at the wind on the GFS here. Obviously, this storm here for Sunday also could produce a little wind too. You could see some breezy conditions, and maybe over the North Fork you could see some strong winds over here, and we have to worry about some more damage to the beaches again. But then here comes this LLJ storm, and this is the one that really worries me. You can see, look at that, the east end is in the red. That is not good at all. Again, this is going to be another very intense LLJ. If you look at the dew points in the tropical air that we're going to have, that are going to be coming up from it, and if we go look at our 850 wind, this is what I'm concerned about here. This LLJ. I'm more concerned about this than I am about the Sunday, the weekend storm, because this is going to have some very powerful winds. And it could cause some more problems, just like the last one. Power outages, flooding, coastal flooding. Another tropical storm type conditions in the winter, when we're not supposed to have this kind of weather at all in the winter. But again, because you have that super El Nino, it's just fueling these things. And those lows that keep tracking over the Great Lakes instead of tracking over to the south of us and giving us snow, this is just ridiculous. It just continues. So this is a concern here for sure. And let's go look at the Europeans' take on this as well for next week. And this is the one I'm more concerned about. You can see here's the European. It's still some strong winds with this too. You can see, but look, southeast winds at 850. This doesn't favor snow at all. It's just going to favor windswept rain again. Just what we need. Another one of those damn things. And then here is again Wednesday. Look at this. I mean, really, we're so sick of it. It really is so tired of it. So if we do go to the CONUS view and look at snowfall, this isn't going to give us the snowfall. Yeah, all right, let's go to GFS. All right, here, so look at the storm on the GFS. Look at this thing. This could actually cause some severe weather too as well. So yeah, I'm definitely more concerned about that. But let's look at the total snowfall here, and look at who's getting the snow here. And you can see it's going to be the West, Flagstaff, but you'll notice it's it's not really at the coast. So, at least we're seeing a little bit more of a buildup of snowpack to our north and west and in Canada, which is good, but still nothing much for us. Right all the way out to January 19th. But if you're in Flagstaff, get prepared for some nice winter weather and some bitter cold. So anyway, they don't have to deal with those LLJs there because they got the mountains, they block them. So let's talk a little bit more about this storm. We're going to go to Ventusky now for the weekend. And we got again these two storms right now to watch. One is just going to probably be a cold, windswept rain, and the other is going to be like another tropical storm type of deal. All right, so let's go to the Saturday night. All right, we'll first talk about the first storm here. All right. This is using the icon model, but they all pretty much agree here. Wind speed. All right, we'll go to wind gusts here. So these are the wind gusts. Nothing terrible, but offshore you could see wind gusts possibly up to 50 miles an hour. Let's move this along to Sunday. So here's Sunday. Again, not the winds. It'll be bad along the shore, but it'll be a little rough, but it won't be the kind of damaging stuff that we're going to see with the later storm. The later storm is the one I'm way more concerned about than this. All right, let's look at the waves here. We will see some impact here of the ocean, you can see, but it won't be as bad as the storm that we're going to have on Tuesday. So let's go to Wednesday. Let's do this. It would be Wednesday the 10th. I don't see anything going on here. The icon, oh, here we are. The icon may have something different. Let's see. Oh, I can't use the GFS, really. It's as far as it's going to take us on the waves. But what about wind gusts? We can do that at least. So, yeah, here's the storm for Wednesday. And you can see some of these wind gusts here. Again, this is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with this LLJ that's going to be coming in. So we got plenty of time, but you can see, look at how strong these winds are. So this is going to be a much more damaging storm, I think. Another strong LLJ with the potential for wind gusts. Tropical storm force, most definitely, and hurricane force is not out of the question as well. Because, again, if we go and we look at that LLJ, we go above the ground here. Let's go 500 meters above the ground. You can see the kind of winds that we're dealing with here. So I'll move this toward the morning. And you can see the kind of winds. Look at that. It's just insane. So we have time to talk about this, but this is going to be another one of these damn tropical storms that we're going to have. This is the winter of tropical storms, folks. It's like we're living in the tropics. I mean, where is winter? You know, it's ridiculous. You want winter? I suggest you get yourself on a plane and head over to Flagstaff. I know I would if I could, but I can't. I'm stuck here. Trust me, I'm trying to find a way. I'm so fed up with this. But anyway, at least this is a storm that will be out of here, and and then we'll have some nicer weather behind it. But yeah, this could be causing more damage again. And again, this is just 500 meters up, and look at how strong these winds are. I wish we could see how bad the waves are. We only go out to this far, unfortunately, on this model. I could go to the windy.com. We can look at the storm. This storm, windy.com, only goes out till Monday, though. So it's not going to go far enough out. So back to tropical tidbits again, I guess. Let's see. I don't think they have a wave model, do they? They might actually have. Yeah, they do have significant wave height on here. Okay, so we can look at it on this one. That's fine. I don't usually use this one, but that's fine. So here is the first storm. All right. But the second storm is the one to really watch out for. Look at that. That is much, much worse. So that is something we're going to have to be very concerned about as we head into this. So once we get this storm out of the way for Sunday, we're going to be talking about this serious LLJ storm that I'm definitely way more concerned about right now. Because, again, you have those tightly packed isobars, lots of wind, strong southeasterly winds. It's going to be wet and wild once again, unfortunately. So that's what it is as we deal with. And this all goes back to, let's see if we can do this. I don't think this is available in this. No, it's not available in this one. Let's see if we can, I can do this. No, done. I'm going to show dew point. Just show you the storm. I want to show you where it's getting its moisture from. So it's getting its moisture all the way from that El Nino and those warm. See how when you have warmer than normal sea surface temperatures, you see how it affects the weather. But instead of supercharging the storms on the west coast, this super El Nino is so powerful, it's the supercharging the storms on the east coast. And we're getting these atmospheric rivers, very much similar to what California went through last year. We're getting what California went through last year. So we're getting that now, right? I wish we could. It's annoying they don't have the 700 to the 700 to 300, but here you go. So we go take a look at this. So here's the first, again, that first storm, which has some decent moisture with it, as you see there, but it's not tapping into the tropics as much. This second one here is going to be tapping into the tropics. Follow it all the way down to the tropics. So this is the one that we're going to have to really be concerned about. And then we move the GFS along. There's another one right there for Saturday. And then, look at this, another one. It just never ends. Where's the snowstorms? There aren't any snowstorms. I mean, this is, this is ridiculous. So our chance for snow is fleeting at this point. You can see, look at that, plenty of moisture coming in off the west, too. So, I really didn't want to make this a long-range discussion, but we have to talk about it, obviously, because we continue with this wet pattern that we've had in December. We're continuing with it, though there is a change in the fact there is more cold air in the mix, but most of that cold air is in the west, not in the east, and that's what sucks as we wait to see if we're going to actually get winter this year. So, because winter is not something we get every year now. So that's going to wrap it up from here. So I want to thank you for watching. Have a good night.